we are in week 2 of our live exam study prep session. So we are going to be covering the second half of A+ today. I'm excited. So we did Core 1 last week. We'll be doing Core 2 this week. Next week, we're going to jump over to the Network Plus exam, which is one of the best in the entry-level series. And of course, we're going to wrap up with Security Plus, which will be our last week. So we are going live every Tuesday, and we want you to join into the live session. Ask us questions when we're done looking at the questions, and we are here to help you get prepared for success so that you can get certified and get paid. So I started with some MOS and CompTIA exams back in the day, about a decade ago, and I've just been building and building and building on it, getting more certifications, getting out there, teaching more classes, and I absolutely love it. Most recently, I got my CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker, and I'm studying now for my CASP. So I've been teaching in different schools, finally decided to start my own business, and now I am IT training. So make sure you connect with both of us on different social media profiles. Let's go to the next slide and see where you can connect with us outside of YouTube. So of course, if you're watching right now, you should definitely subscribe, but we've got some other places where you can with us as well and get more information on your IT career journey. So starting here, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channels at Master IT, and then another one at I Am IT Training. Of course, we've got a LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook where you can connect with us and get more information. Rob, back to you.
Thank you. All right, gang. So if you're just now joining us, we're going over 1002. All right, so the A+ exam is a 2-part exam. You got the 1001 and you have the 1002. Last week, me and my pal Antoinette went over 1001. This week, we're gonna go over 1002. So just to go over some quick questions that usually come up, the A+ is a 2-part exam, right? If you pass the 1001, you do not have a certification. You have to pass the 1001 and the 1002 to get A+ certified, right? So let's say that you fail 1001 and then you go certified and get 1002. You still got to double back and get 1001. Just understand that neither one of these are standalone certifications. A+ is a 2-part exam. So if you want to pass this exam, you got to get a 700 out of 900. When you get inside the exam room, it's going to be multiple choice questions and performance-based questions. So the performance-based questions are CompTIA's way of doing hands-on, right? Kind of showing that you can actually apply all the stuff you've been studying for the last couple of months. You'll get a maximum of 90 questions. You may get less than that, but you won't get more than that. And you got 90 minutes to complete the test. Now that last part scares some people because like, okay, if I get 90 questions, I got 90 minutes, that means I only got 1 minute per question. Now, believe it or not, if you prepare properly, if you get to tutelage from instructors like me and Antoinette, 1 minute per question is gonna be more than enough, like more than enough. You're gonna be able to decipher exactly what the question is asking and what the answer is, right? So that's what me and Antoinette is doing this for, is to make you more comfortable inside the actual exam.
Awesome. So let's look at a breakdown of the actual exam itself. And you are right, 1 minute per question actually is a lot when you walk into the exam room with that confidence and you know what you're looking at and you can start deciphering through the different questions and the verbiage. So we're going to go through some of that today. Now, when you walk into the exam room and you sit down for this exam, you're going to be seeing a lot of information based on the 4 sections or objectives you see on your screen here, which are operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. Now, we've already talked about some of the different pieces of hardware and how to troubleshoot and maintain them. This is where we're going to focus on what's going on that hardware. So what type of applications, what operating system, how do we keep all of that data safe? If anything goes weird or wonky with the software, we want to make sure we know what the steps are to fix it. And then operational procedures are keeping everything running smoothly together with all considerations. So let's jump in and get some practice questions going.
Sounds good. So I just want to thank the couple guys and girls that are popping in on the live. If you guys could do something for me and Antoinette, first thing, share this live. Second thing, make sure that you like this video, okay? All right, so at the end of this, we'll have Q&A, but just in case we have any questions, or if you have any questions while we're going through this stuff, just go ahead and ask, and we'll try and get to your question. All right, so this is the first question. Corey lands on an official looking web page telling him that a virus has been detected on his computer. The web page appears to be scanning the local computer and often reports multiple found infections. What type of malware is being described? So gang, use your analytical and critical thinking. Look at the answers. Drop them in the chat box if you think you know what the answer is. I give you guys a couple seconds, and then we'll go ahead and give you the answer. What do we think it is? The answer is rogue antivirus. All right, rogue antivirus. So when you get inside the box, right? Well, you won't be in the box because you're probably gonna be taking this at the house. But when you get inside the actual exam room, or if you take it at the house, acronyms, right? The tests, whether it's 1001 or 1002, are going to have a ridiculous amount of acronyms, right? So it behooves you, it's a good idea, anytime you see an acronym, right? For you to, one, figure out what the hell it stands for, two, figure out what it does, and if it breaks, how do you fix it? One more time. So anytime you see an acronym, figure out what it stands for, what it does, and what the hell do you need to do if it breaks, all right? Because 1001 and 1002, troubleshooting, a bunch of troubleshooting. So pretty much you got to figure out how to fix stuff. So the answer to this is antivirus, and anti-IPS and anti-IDS are not things. An IPS is an intrusion prevention system or service, and then an IDS is an intrusion detection service or system. So a lot of times what happens is when you're inside the exam room, if it's something that you've never seen before, something you know what it stands for some reason, you get a feeling that, hey, I need to choose that. I don't know what the hell that is, so maybe that's the answer. A lot of times, whatever's jumping out at you, it's jumping out at you for a reason. So the answer to this is rogue antivirus. Antoinette, you up.
Lenny wants to connect his Bluetooth speakers to his PC, and he believes he's followed all the instructions, but it's still not working. When he checks the PC's device manager, the speakers don't appear. What should Lenny try first? Think about it. All right, how are we doing? So you need to read through the question, and the answer is sitting right there in front of you. Let's go ahead and see which one it is. Now read the very first line of the question, and this will all come together for you. And it is definitely A. Don't forget that Lenny wants to connect his Bluetooth speakers and they can't be found at all, meaning the computer is not detecting them. So you need to make sure that Bluetooth is turned on or enabled so that your computer can actually connect with the speakers. It knows to look for a new Bluetooth device and actually make a connection to it. What is the connection called in the Bluetooth world? Pairing. You need to pair the devices. And once they're paired, then the speakers have been detected. You'll find them in the device manager, and you can start getting all the sound you want from them. Let's go to the next question.
All right, thank you. Thank you to Brandon. He says he's hanging out with us at work. Good job getting it in whenever and wherever you can. Hopefully, wherever you work at, it's a safe and sanitized environment. Thanks for hanging out. Just like I said, and I'm gonna say it 1,000 times. Only thing we want from you guys is one like and for you to share this live. We only want you to share it just so it can get to as many people as possible to help as many students as possible. All right, next up. Janice is the system administrator for her company. She onboards 5 new employers daily. She always makes new users sign documentation outlining what is acceptable behavior while using company devices. What type of document are new users signing? What do we think? Like I said, if anything, it can whoop your ass on the actual exam. It is acronyms, right? So we have nothing but acronyms in the answers. So what do we think is the answer? Like Antoinette was saying on the last thing, a lot of times the answer, or at least context clues or hints, can be given right inside of the question. So look inside that question and see if you can figure out what the answer is. Frankie Frankie Felix says he's going to be taking the test in a month, and he wants us to keep it up. We will do that. Let us know when you pass. Bam. Brandon, at his 9 to 5, got the question right. It is AUP, acceptable use policy. That says, hey man, this is what you can do and this is what you cannot do. Very good. All right, Antoinette, it is your turn.
Awesome. So Marcus just procured 1,000 laptops, 500 routers, 432 printers, and 900 smartphones. He ensures that all of them are working properly and that they don't have any damage. So now he's listing every device and its monetary value. What is Marcus actually doing? So I like this. We have a comment that might be helpful right now from Brandon. He says the process of elimination during multiple choice. And that is a skill set within itself. So take a look at the possible answer options, eliminate the ones that are obviously wrong, and see what you have left. All right, what kind of list is being made? Let's see it, let's see it. We've got a couple right answers options, and he is creating an asset management list. It's a list of all the devices and how much they are worth so that they can track where these things go. So if you have, what is this? Over 3,000, about 3,000 new devices of different types coming in, then you want to keep track of this stuff. Who is it going to be issued to? What's the most up-to-date software on it? Who's responsible for going back and counting it again when they do inventory? This is important stuff because we have millions of dollars of tech equipment going in and out of our companies every day and year and being issued to new hires and people that are leaving companies. So you got to make sure you can track where these devices are going. All right, let's see what is next.
All right, so Mathis is a project manager who's currently doing a walkthrough on a new building site. The site is still under construction with work being done around the clock. As a safety precaution, what should Mathis equip while doing the walkthrough? All right, gang, if you haven't done so, make sure you like and share. Like and share this live. So as you guys go throughout your IT career, you're gonna be a project manager. It may not be on a large scale, but you're going to be in charge of something that needs a certain outcome, right? So if you're on the big super duper scale where you're doing a huge project, you need to do a walkthrough just to see, okay, where things need to go, safety precautions, stuff like that. So what do you think if you were a project manager doing a walkthrough, out of those things, what would you need to have? Okay, I'm here seeing everybody saying E. You guys are geniuses.
Let's see, let's see. So Jamal is a tier 1 IT specialist for Lion Pharmaceuticals. The company recently upgraded 135 employees' work cell phones. What would be a best practice for Jamal when it comes to disposing of the cell phones? So if you are getting rid of equipment, what is the proper way to do that? This is a really good question, by the way, because we have a whole industry built around this very question. All right, we got some answers coming in. Let's see which one is correct. For any of those of you who said A, you are right. So you want to wipe all the data from the cell phones and then take it to a recycling center. And both of those steps are very important because, well, dumpster diving is a thing. So if you just take 135 cell phones and you throw them in the dumpster, you don't wipe all of that data off of there first, you're pretty much giving away 135 lives, right? All the contacts, all the pictures, all the accounts that are set up and connected, you need to get all that data off of the devices, and then don't just throw them in the trash behind the building. Take them to an electronics recycler so that they can be reused and disposed of properly. It's not just a suggestion or being green, it is actually state and federal law in a lot of places. So be aware of the disposal procedures for your area. They can be different in every state and even different counties. Let's see what is next.
All right. Which of the following wireless security protocols has been discouraged in favor of newer standards due to known vulnerabilities resulting from implementation flaws? What do we think the answer is? Remember, gang, like and share this video. If you don't like and share, I'll hunt you down and no, but just like and share, like and share. So we got wireless security protocols, and we're trying to figure out what is the best security standard. What should you actually choose when you're doing wireless communication? Maurice McMullen. Yes, Maurice McMullen says it's WEP or WEP. That is the weakest version of encryption when it comes to wireless security. If you have that on your router, if you're using that at all, you're going to get your identity stolen and some other stuff. So I would suggest you change it immediately. WEP is no bueno. All right, no bueno. And you can do that inside of your router settings. So since most of you guys are at home, maybe that's some homework for you. Just check on your router to see which security standards you're using. You should be using WPA2. If you're using WEP, change it expeditiously. All right, next up, Antoinette.
All right, Gerald is setting up a way of processing of emails to organize them according to the specified criteria that he has created. He wants to reduce the amount of spam emails that users are receiving. So what is Gerald's most likely setup? Look at our goal here and what is the best way to get there? I see some keywords jumping out at me already. In my brain, automatically, I'm thinking of port numbers. So I'm excited that NetPlus is next week. So we'll be going through that information live as well. All right, if you're geeking out too and you're already studying above, you probably know what ports came to mind, but let's focus on this question. Let's see what the answer is. So he's setting up a new way to process emails and he wants to filter them based on the criteria that he has specified. So he's going to set up an email filter, make sure that less crap emails are making it to the inbox. So it's going to look for certain things and it's going to say yes or no. It can go in the inbox or it's going to get sent out to a spam mail filter. For those of you thinking about firewalls and rules, you're in the right place. Let's continue on to the next question.
All right, so a cybersecurity professor is describing a type of malware to the class. He tells the class this type of malware is a collection of computer software, typically malicious, designed to enable access to a computer or an area of its software that is not otherwise allowed, for example, to an unauthorized user, and often mask its existence. What type of malware is being described? If anybody on this live gets this wrong, just turn your phone or your computer off and just go take a nap. So so what do we think? What is the answer? What is the answer? So
if they get it wrong, they just need to sign up for class.
Hey, there you have it. Out of those, what do we think the answer is? We already know. It is a rootkit, right? So let's do some extra credit stuff on this one. So a rootkit sucks really bad. Its main goal is to pretty much take over admin privileges, right? So you want to run antivirus. It says, no, we're not going to do that. If you want to open up Internet Explorer, no, we're not going to do that. It literally takes over admin functionality and pretty much makes your computer their computer, right? A Trojan is another type of malware. It actually masks as something good, but it's something bad. So for example, you download free antivirus and that free antivirus gives you a damn virus, right? No good. A worm, that's another type of malware where its main goal is to replicate itself, right? So it's one worm, then it's 10 worms, then it's 10,000 worms, right? Then MITM is an acronym that stands for man in the middle, man in the middle. And that type of attack is software or something standing between you and another person, and it's intercepting all the traffic. All right, great. All right, gang. So This is the portion that we need to be looking at, Q&A. If you have any questions, anything that we went over, anything that you want to talk about, let us know right now, right now.
I saw a comment here that says that Barracuda email security services is a common email filter. There are definitely a lot of different options out there. So thank you for bringing that into light. So the cool thing is that CompTIA is what they call vendor neutral, which means they won't necessarily test you on the specifics of one vendor or one creator of software. They're really going to keep it more generalized. Like, what is antivirus and what can it help protect? Or here's a situation, what is the best tool or category of tool? But you won't necessarily see a lot of what we call proprietary or certain brands on your test. And that's because we're not trying to make sure that you're an expert at one single piece of software or one single piece of hardware. We want to make sure that you have the well-roundedness to step into an IT situation and know that if I can't connect my laptop to my printer, it might not just be a printer issue. I might not be on the network at all. And you wouldn't really know that unless you're well-rounded. So you might start looking at what the IP addresses is, make sure that the printer itself has an IP address. You might troubleshoot like there's a paper jam, the drivers might not be installed. So that's the nice thing about A+, is they're going to get you ready to be a well-rounded technician and understand that there are different angles of troubleshooting. And the more you get more experience in that area, the better you'll be able to start defining your specialty. If you're really good at networking issues or you're really good at security issues, you might be a rock star at printers, and thank goodness for those people, because I suck at printers. So I appreciate the comments here, and that is a really good point. There are some popular tools out there in the tech world, but as we get through this material, you'll see that we're really focusing on what those principles and objectives are.
Gotcha. We had a question from somebody, and it says ports. So it's not really a question, I guess it's a statement. So it says ports. I don't really know what you're trying to get at, but from my experience and my students' experience, ports, I don't know if you would agree, Antoinette, but ports aren't the reason that students fail A+. Now you have to know common ports, even though there's literally thousands of ports. I would say, as long as you know the basic ports, I wouldn't really worry about ports that much. I wouldn't say that the ports would be the reason that students are failing the exam. Antoinette, you think that's true, false? What do you think?
I definitely agree with you. And in the upcoming sessions, we're going to review some of those most important port numbers. You'll even find a couple videos specifically on that, like which ports are relevant for each test. But I'm going to say in the A+ realm, you're going to see maybe 2 to 5 ports overall. And these are basic ones that we're using every day, all day, like HTTP and HTTPS. We mentioned the email ports, so incoming and outgoing options that you have for port numbers there. Just make sure you're familiar and you're comfortable with which numbers there are. Like Rob said, there are literally over 35,000 different ports, and you are never going to be expected to know all of them, but you do want to use some kind of baseline knowledge as to what ports are, how digital traffic is being transferred between different systems and devices, and which ones are going to be the most popular. Like I said, maybe 3 to 5 on the A+, bumping that up to about 10 to 15 on the network plus, then adding about another 10 for the security plus, to really round out about 30 ports that you'll have memorized. But again, that's not all at once. We're going to build your knowledge as you go through the courses and prepare you for each of the stackable certifications, because it is recommended and really expected that you have the knowledge from the base certifications to get the bigger ones. So A+, then Net+, then Security+. So all that to say, tune in to next week, as well as other videos that we have on both of our channels.